Coming to you live from Kudu Studios with Vian Izak, it's Sounds About Music. Sounds about right! How to create a second album featuring Vian Izak and guests.
What a week it has been. Hello, everybody. My name is Vian Izak. I'm an indie pop artist from Nashville, Tennessee. And this podcast is the journey of how I create my second album. I'll be talking about production techniques, songwriting, the process of creating an album, and then also the process of releasing an album. This is the second podcast, and it's been quite fun to see everyone listening and joining the Album Number 2 Club. The Album Number 2 Club is a club you can join where you can listen to the full podcasts. Don't worry, you can still listen to half of each podcast if you don't join the club, but if you do join the club, you get all the behind-the-scenes footage, pictures, and demos of all the songs that I'm working on, and you get the full podcast. We also just launched a Discord server. Shout out to all the people who helped out with that. So everyone who's a part of the Album Number 2 Club can go on that server and chat with me directly. And I've been trying to be on there pretty much every day. It's been so fun to just get to know everyone. So I'd highly recommend you join. Go to vianizak.com/soundsaboutmusic to join. And without any further ado, let's jump into what's been going on this week. So I think the biggest couple of things is I was recently in Ireland right before I launched this podcast, and I haven't really talked about it. I didn't talk about it in the first podcast because I was just introducing the concept of this podcast. But I recorded a lot of things in Ireland in old abandoned churches and cathedrals and even a castle. That was an absolute blast. I went with Sarah Jane from Through Juniper Vale, and we traveled all over the country. We played in pubs and just impromptu gigs everywhere, and then we recorded all over the place. So I'll put up some pictures on the Album Number 2 Club for you guys to check out, and I'll even play some demos later on in this podcast of what we ended up with in Ireland. I've just been ironing out kind of the prep work of starting this album, and two major things happened this week. The first is I'm jumping into live. I feel like playing live is really going to help me develop an album that is geared towards playing shows. I think with the first album, a lot of those songs were just purely created in the studio, and I've been really into performing a piece of music rather than constructing a piece of music. I think you can do both, and you can create amazing things using both techniques or a combination of the two. But lately I've been constructing music so much that I really miss the playing aspect of music. So I've started playing a lot. I booked myself a gig in Nashville just to get the cobwebs off from, the long winter of not playing shows. And I got myself an Ableton rig. Ableton is the industry standard software to use to play live shows, and I've been diving into that. A great resource I've been using is LinkedIn's lynda.com. I think they purchased Lynda, and now I think it's just called LinkedIn Learning. Well, I've been going on there and just learning about how other people use Ableton in their live rigs, and I've learned so much. It's such an amazing, versatile piece of software. So what I've done is I've built a vocoder in the software to use live, and I've got a couple of songs that are very vocoder heavy on this next album. So I'm going to be trying out some songs in my live set that I have not released yet to see how they evolve as we play them live. I've also just been programming my beat pad in Ableton and also my keyboard. It's just an amazing tool that you can use to pretty much take exactly what I created in the studio and translate it into live. The second aspect that I've been working on is developing my own unique set of instruments. I really see instruments and effects as colors and paintbrushes. So you can use samples online, and I do that quite often. So using a sample piano or a sample drum set. But the only problem with that is it's like buying a standard paint from Home Depot. Everybody has used that paint, or you'll run into that paint elsewhere. So that's why I'm finding it so important to kind of create my own palette and create my own instruments and create my own effects. So building a lot of beats in Logic, but then really changing them and making sure that they're my beats, not just standard sounds. And sometimes standard sounds are good, so I'll still use them every now and again, but it's really about finding a unique texture to paint with so that these songs can really come to life in a unique way. And part of what I did to accomplish that today, actually, by the way, I record every podcast either Wednesday or Thursday, so it's Thursday right now. And this morning what I did was I built felt strip hangings that hang between the hammers of my piano and the strings of my piano to accomplish that soft Max Richter, Niels Fromm type sound where it sounds like a movie score, super warm, super beautiful. I'll actually play a little bit of that too later in the podcast just to kind of share how I achieved that sound. So that took all morning. It's really just a lot of building, shaping, and I recorded a few new demos this week as well. One is called Ruins, and that's one of the ones from Ireland. Very interesting, unique track. And then another one that I'm just calling Castle Song for now, but it'll probably change title. The wonderful thing is Hein came over one night and we just spent all night experimenting with different sounds. So we took the sounds of a piano's hammer falling back after it hit the string, just that sound we isolated, and then combining that with vocoders to create quite an interesting, slightly creepy sound. But that was an absolute blast. So overall, I'd say this period is all about experimenting, not creating too many rules, and just seeing what happens. I like to look at it as kind of exploring new territory or being a frontiersman. So I have no idea what's going to happen each day, and it's a bit unnerving. I think I am partly a control person. I love to know what's happening. I feel really accomplished if I have like tasks to get done. So it throws me off a bit to just see what happens and see where the day takes me. But the wonderful thing is it's such a treat because I'm taken to some wonderful places, and that I'm really enjoying, and I don't think that can happen if I have too rigid of a structure. So just kind of relaxing and letting go has really been my philosophy this week, and seeing where I end up. But that really, it's easier said than done. I think the moment I sort of let go of my rigid structure, I begin to feel guilty, or I begin to feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which really isn't true because I'm supposed to be making an album. So that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm not supposed to have a rigid structure right now because I'm just exploring. It's it's my first date with all these songs and all these sounds. So we just got to see what happens. And maybe later on it'll start becoming more of a routine thing. Well, it definitely will. Once I start mixing and once I start shaping it more, the days will start feeling a little more structured. So that's been happening, exploring new sounds, shaping old demos a little bit. I'm really jumping around a lot and just seeing what makes sense. I'm working on a new song right now, and like I said earlier, I'm into performing rather than constructing. I think with electronic music, you can really kind of start with a bass and construct on top of that until you get something really cool. But with this one, I'm really diving in from more of a performance aspect. And right now it's called The Church at Kilkenny, tentatively, and it's purely piano vocal song. And with this new felt piano, it is just absolutely beautiful. It's something that I've actually been trying to achieve for years. And I found that sound when I started collaborating with Ben Laver, UK producer and composer. And we did a track together called Save My Heart. And I just adored the piano sound in that recording. And I've been talking with him a lot and kind of doing some research and realized that you put felt cloth between the hammer and the string to get that sound. It totally mellows out the piano. So with this new song, Church of Kilkenny, I think I'm going to do it like that fully. And I have a couple of demos again that I'll play later in the podcast just so you can kind of hear the sounds of what I'm talking about. On an unrelated note, I've just got to talk about this Discord server that we started. It has been such a treat to see how people are reacting and people are just having their own conversations on there. And I really want to grow it into something bigger where we can all just get together, share art, share music, share whatever we want to share, and just get to know each other. It's a strange sensation realizing that all those streams and all those numbers are actually people. And I don't think I really connected that. I didn't really understand that until I launched this Discord and I started talking to people. And, it's small right now. I think it's going to grow as we go. So definitely join if you want. We just chat. It's a good time. And we're even maybe looking into doing some exclusive challenges or exclusive things where, because I didn't realize how many of the fans are digital artists, and I mean it just makes sense because Heinz art is so amazing. So a lot of the folks are digital artists and some musicians, some programmers. So I think what we're going to maybe do, or what I'd love to do if everyone is into it, is do some projects together where literally the fans are a part of the creation process of either the album or the art behind the album. A really cool thing that happened this week was Spotify is launching something called Canvas, where they have 8-second videos that play with each song, and it's still in beta, but they were kind enough to invite me into the beta program. So I also spent some time this week uploading a bunch of 8-second video clips to my Spotify account. So for every song, you can see a little 8-second clip where I just uploaded official audio videos that follow the beat of the music. But I think we can do something cooler. So I think part of what I'm going to do this next week with the Discord people is see if anyone is interested in creating a super cool 8-second little video, and I'll upload them to my Spotify for everyone to see. So I think that's going to be a really fun thing, and I'm excited to do that. I think this is it for the free section. If you want to join, if you want to listen to more, please join the club. It's a blast, and you get to see all kinds of insider scoop things. So I'd really encourage you to join. And for those of you who have joined, hello. Let's just keep going, and I'll jump into some of the demos now. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to the first half of this episode. If you want to listen to the full episode, go to vianizak.com/soundsaboutmusic and join my album number 2 club. Thanks so much.